It's the SKOR North Twins Show. Baseball.
SKOR North Twins Show. Full show. Mackie, Judd, Dex here to bring up some latest Twins news.
Hold on. I think we
have
still have
sounders for
sound.
this?
Hold on. Let me see here.
No, I don't have them in this room yet.
Is that Twins news about the pole ad selling?
Oh, no.
Oh, I didn't say
man.
that. Anybody got any Twins news?
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
There it is. That's super funny. So for our audience there, visual or audio, we cut those probably 2 or 3 months ago, which I think today is exactly 1 month since they announced they're pulling the team off the market.
I think Judd cut a couple other ones too that were pole ad related, but it didn't quite make the cut.
That's too bad. Latest Twins news here. We're going to start with something Buster only put out there about Rocco's job status. Griffin Jax kind of also opened up a vein post-trade deadline. He spoke with Dan Hayes, The Athletic, just his thoughts there. Walker Jenkins, Twins top prospect, starting to figure things out in St. Paul. And David Festa heading towards a potential career-altering surgery situation that we'll get into here. Plus a random twin of the week. So, yeah, we're loaded. We're loaded here on the SKOR North Twin Show. There's still plenty to talk about. So hit the like button, subscribe button here on the SKOR North Twin Show YouTube channel. Okay, let's start with exactly what Buster only put out. So Buster, I looked back on this, by the way, totally random. Buster only was the first person I ever followed on Twitter. You can go on web and go follow. First guy I ever followed. I launched my Twitter in July of 2011. So right when baseball was still pretty damn good. Buster was the first guy I ever followed.
He was one of the first. I started Twitter in March of 2009 during spring training. I think I fired Twitter up. Doogie showed me what Twitter was in Fort Myers, Florida in 2009 and helped me create an account. And Buster was also one of my first follows early, probably one of my first 50 follows. It was Buster only, some football people, and then a bunch of poker people because I was way into poker at the time.
Buster, the first ever guest on the Judd and Fun Show.
Wow. It's time for Judd and Fun.
They're
talking
Judd
sports
because they know a ton. First ever guest. ESPN connection at the time.
This is hilarious. So we all have Buster only stories here.
Yes.
His
Huge
real
Vikings fan too.
He was on the payroll for a while, man. He was he was a Royce guest.
Kurtzen.
Yeah, his real name is Robert, and he's a Vikings fan.
Yep. So Buster, what do you think?
So Buster put out an article on ESPN.com, potential MLB managerial front office changes on the horizon. So he's got a list of guys in here, including Rocco Baldelli. So he writes, Baldelli's 2026 option was picked up in June, timing that might suggest he's safe for next season as Twins ownership could simply plow ahead with him at the helm. But a lot has changed with the Twins since that decision was made. The unloading of veterans, the trade deadline, the angering fans, as he also writes. If the Twins do switch managers, he lists a couple possibilities here. The first, then Derek Shelton, a former Twins bench coach who was the Pirates manager, he got fired this season, could be among those considered, along with former Twins hitting coach James Rowson, who is now with the Yankees. Rowson was the Twins hitting coach, I think, up until 2018. Was it the Miami Marlins he went to? Then he's been with the Yankees as their hitting coach for the last 2 seasons. So he has a little write up there. He was the Bomba Squad hitting coach in 2000. He was, okay. I thought maybe he left right before then. But so he has both these two dudes ties to the organization. I know Derek and Rocco are still very, very close. And Derek Shelton's been doing interviews or hosting, with MLB Network Radio. So he's kind of launched, and he's really good. He's actually really good.
Don't quit that job, Derek.
So what do you make here? So Derek Shelton, James Rowson, these are just two names Buster throws out there. They have ties to the organization. Twins love bringing people back. I'll just say this, my first initial take. Derek Shelton, James Rowson are certainly, and maybe Rowson ahead of Shelton, to be honest. I may be more curious there. Maybe he wants to be a manager, but I wouldn't have them high on my short list right now if the Twins are indeed going to part with Rocco.
Yeah, okay. There's a couple different paths here. One, on Derek Shelton in a vacuum, highly regarded, highly respected, longtime baseball man, right? He's in his mid-50s. It was a loss for him to leave the Twins. And did he leave directly for the Pirates job?
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Okay,
And
so
then
it was the direct path.
And then they hired Mike Bell, and then Mike Bell passed away.
Yeah, and that shook the team in addition to COVID in 2020. So like in a vacuum, Derek Shelton is very well respected. I think the clubhouse likes and respects him, at least in Minnesota they did. And it's hard to look at the win-loss record in Pittsburgh of all places and make a judgment and say, well, the guy, he had seasons of, well, the first year was the COVID shortened year in which they were on pace for like over a full season, 110 losses, but they only played 60 games. And then they had back-to-back 100-loss seasons, 86 losses. You can't judge anything that happens with the Pittsburgh Pirates. There's a couple organizations where it's like, no manager is going to is worth like the 20 wins needed to bring them into contention. So, but in terms of what they should do if they fire Rocco, you almost have to unpack like what is it that a manager has influence on, and then who would be the most impactful for those check boxes. But also, your brand is dead right now. People aren't coming to the ballpark. You're on pace for the lowest attendance in the history of Target Field. Does that play into the decision at all? Do you want a manager that can help maximize wins to whatever extent that's possible? But like, if a manager's main ways to influence a baseball team are in some order, setting a culture that gets everyone pulling on the same rope, fired up to come to work every day, and all push in the same direction, number one, which is hard to totally quantify and define, but you know that the Twins aren't that, right? The Twins have not been that for the last couple of years, where everyone is seeing the same vision in that clubhouse. Everyone is pulling on the same rope. It's a lot of kind of bickering, and there's even some backstabbing stuff happening. How do you maximize talent with you and your coaching staff? Now, you're getting a lot of players who are close to fully formed products, but are you, with your game planning, your communication, your dissemination of scouting reports, are you taking a player from his 60th percentile to his 90th percentile on a regular basis? You and the culture and the systems that you are setting up for that communication. And I think like bullpen and pitching staff management and like workload management is all stuff that's in there too. So, I mean, if Derek Shelton or James Rowson check all those boxes, okay, but those guys don't do anything for me above and beyond like Torrey Hunter, who wants to manage. I'd rather take a shot on Torrey Hunter still. Trevor Plouffe threw that idea out 2 weeks ago and again this week. And I don't know that I would hire Derek Shelton over Torrey Hunter, even though Shelton is a seasoned, experienced baseball manager. That's where I'm at.
My other question is this, though. Like, are we going to get an audit of, like, Derek Falvey's power? Like, if Derek Falvey's not going to be fired, like the conversation about what is the manager's role, what is he allowed to do? Where I am curious of is, okay, but is there going to be a conversation about, like, if you're going to get the right guy to manage the team, clearly what you're doing is not working. So are we going to say, hey, Derek, you know what? You're still in charge of baseball ops, but we don't need you giving instructions on X, Y, and Z. That's going to be up to... So this goes so much above like just Derek Falvey. This goes to his bosses, and this goes to, are these minority investors real? And are they going to come in after paying a decent chunk and actually have a say here? So like, because if you're going to tell Torrey, okay, you got the job, and now Derek Falvey comes down with his calculator at 2 o'clock and says, here's what you're going to do, that's not going to work. So like the dysfunction is so high, I need to know what you're going to do as far as the structure of the entire operation, which again, we have no clue right now. And quite frankly, I don't know that they have a clue.
Yeah. Would you be, again, Rocco is still the manager. This is all hypothetical, but if you made that change, would you be hiring someone to sort of sit underneath and within the current infrastructure and carry forward Derek Falvey and the analytics department, and like you're just kind of a steward for that infrastructure? Or are you hiring someone to carry out like some extent of that infrastructure, but to also maybe push back on it and poke at it and figure out what's wrong with it? Because it is not, if this was a well-honed operation where you are regularly pumping out 90, 95 win teams, you're maximizing talent, hitters aren't coming up and then failing and then disappearing and stuff, young hitters, then okay, hire a cog that can come in and keep it going. I almost feel like they need someone to push back and look a little sideways at some things and say, oh, wait, whoa. No more are we going to do it this way. We should be doing it this way over here.
I think that there needs to be an agreement in place too. Like when you get the job, what is your job? And by the way, we're not going to now change those rules on April 1st. Dex, I got a question for you about what we're seeing now, and I know it's basically terrible, but do you think, like, they have made some huge, oddly late season changes, but like the fact that Jace Tingler went to Rocco supposedly and said, let's give everyone the green light, and they sort of have. Do you sense, because like that to me would have previously had to clear Falvey protocol? So like what's your sense of the alterations, knowing that Baldelli certainly has a say in things, but it doesn't feel like he has had carte blanche in the past to just say, guess what, we are going to have everybody run?
Well, I think it goes back to like right after the trade deadline happened and they came back home from the week after the deadline. I remember Rocco kind of sitting some of reporters aside. I was one of them, and basically said the big reason why we did this was also because we want to be more athletic and we want to be faster and we want to be able to move like we haven't before. They have been one of the slowest teams in baseball. So them having, I think, like the green light and players now having more of the green light and more opportunities to steal and be more advantageous on the bases. I think that's a collective thing. I think Rocco wanted to see that. And also, like, as much as, yes, like Austin Martin, can you be a little bit more strategic with how you tag up on the fly ball? Let it loose. Yeah, like let all this stuff kind of loose. So I don't know if that necessarily like came directly from Falvey. I think it was more of a situation where they recognize the roster they have here. It's young. They're throwing bleep at the wall and seeing who can stick for 2026. So I don't think it was like a mandate from the front office that you're now going to do this. I think it was actually, this is the roster we have. Let's see how it works. Now, they have like the worst record since the trade deadline and since the All-Star break. So results-wise, a results-oriented team hasn't been working too well. But I don't think that mandate came from the front office.
You know, can I just one more thing kind of on the directionless position this franchise is in, and just an epiphany I had about Torrey Hunter here. I think if I could unpack my own emotions about this, I want the Twins to play more like Torrey Hunter did for all those years. I know that you're not going to have a bunch of players that are as good or talented as Torrey Hunter, where you're a Gold Glove center fielder who's also fast and hustles and hits bombs and all those things, hits the ball the other way. But collectively, I would love to see a team that is athletic like Torrey Hunter, that has some pop like Torrey Hunter, but also makes contact the other way and will do the right thing with a runner on second base here and there when you want to move a guy over, but borders on maybe being a little hot-headed and ready to pick a fight with the opposing team or crash a catcher. Like he rode the edge competitively in a really productive way, I think.
Yep.
And I don't sense a lot of like anything I just said from this Twins team. Like it's a Twins team that is, it's just so lacking identity and those core values we went over last week on the show. It's like, who are you as a baseball team? What is your baseball personality? What are your core values? And if I were to say, you know what, this baseball team plays like 26 Torrey Hunters, you'd be like, oh, they're not all as talented as Torrey Hunter, but they play like 26 Torrey Hunters. And even if you lose a ball game, like you're gonna feel that energy and you're gonna feel the Torrey Hunterness. Now, can Torrey Hunter as a manager bring that out in a team? I don't know, but I think that's where it's coming from. Is like, I'd love to see a team. This team kind of reflects Rocco's personality. Rocco's a good guy, knows a lot about baseball. He's kind of a dud. Like he's a really low key, low energy manager who seems a little introverted at times, and again knows a ton about baseball. Seems like an awesome guy. Declan's had a great working relationship with him. But the team kind of reflects that, I feel like, the last several years.
No, absolutely. A few other things here on the SKOR North Twins Show. And by the way, like when you were just talking about that, I meant to put a pin in this. I think, because I almost put this as a topic for today's show, and I think it's something we maybe explore even next week or on an off-season episode. But if you could pick one identity for the Twins to lean all in on, is that hitting? Is that base running? Is that pitching? What is it? What I mean, I know you can't just like make a magic wand and make it happen, but if you wanted the Twins to do it, and even our listeners, what would be that one thing you wanted to have them lean in on?
I want them to lean in on. In fact, I want them to spend the entire winter watching the Milwaukee Brewers play baseball. That's what I want. To me, it's smarts, it's execution, it is not being stubborn. It's not being like, we never bunt, or like, we're going to play small ball. I literally think the Brewers, I mean, look at the payroll. It's less than the Twins, or at least it was. I think the way the Brewers play baseball, what Pat Murphy emphasizes there, is how you win in markets like this. So that's what I want. But you got to be able to run the bases. You got to be able to take advantage of situations, and they do not do that at all right now.
Another latest Twins news item here.
Hold on.
I thought we had breaking
Anybody
news.
got any Twins
I thought we had
news?
breaking news. Like, what happened?
I knew it was coming.
Let's talk about this David Festa update. So Festa, it was confirmed. Nick Paparesta told Betsy Halfan of the Pioneer Press this week, I think yesterday, that he is dealing with Thoracic Outlet Syndrome, which is a problem. Now, there is like a few different variations of this type of syndrome and surgery. Famously, like Phil Hughes had it. His career is never the same. Steven Strasburg's probably the number one poster child of TOS essentially ending his career. The main process is like they remove part of your rib so you can throw a baseball, which is nuts. Zach Wheeler, I think, is heading towards it because he had blood clot issues. It is a very significant surgery. Like Merrill Kelly is probably the best outcome situation that has happened from TOS. If you have this type of surgery like Strasburg did, Matt Harvey did, Chris Archer, another former Twin, he's had it. It's almost career-ending. You're never the same. You might be able to come back and pitch again, but it's never the same. Where Festa's situation might be a little bit more unique here is Festa's 25, turning 26. A lot of these other pitchers were having this surgery in their early 30s, potentially nearing the back end of their careers. So, like, innings and time spent in the big leagues was already probably limited for them. Festa is 25, becoming 26, has only thrown 117 innings in his career, and was someone, I think, that was heading towards a bullpen role for 2026, because he has a lot of intriguing stuff, in my opinion, that profile as a nasty reliever. So we have to figure out the severity still of this surgery, because there is still some medical situations where how invasive is this surgery going to be, and what does the recovery look like? But, I mean, when you see TOS, Thoracic Outlet Syndrome, it is a potential career-altering type of surgery, which is not good.
Put some respect on TOS. Thoracic Outlet Syndrome. Yeah, but you're right. It's like for these pitchers in their 30s, it's kind of a wrap. Like they might come back and try, but they're not the same dudes. Mm-hmm. So how does it work now for a 25-year-old who maybe this just makes it like easy. Okay, he's going to be a 50 to 60 innings guy out of the bullpen. I mean, hell, his starting strikeout rate in the minors is like 11 Ks per nine, 10 Ks per nine in the big leagues, even though he struggled with some control and command. Could he be a big-time strikeout reliever at some point that maybe is an 8th or 9th inning guy? But big question mark. Yeah, I mean, that's like, there's things like Tommy John surgery sucks. You're out for a year. But you know what? You bounce back from that. You can have it a couple times in your career. Even some shoulder surgeries have made progress over the years, but I feel like this is one that is a lot dicier. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this assures him of a bullpen role, but I think the question now is he back in 2026 at some point? Like, that's the question, too. Yeah. And that's the unfortunate thing, man. We talk about these pitchers. They're coming up, and we're all excited. And it's a story now, old as time, but we're all excited about these pitchers, and they run into Tommy John, which you come back from now, or shoulder problems, which you don't necessarily come back for, or this. So, yeah, this is definitely, in a season full of blows, this one will probably be overlooked because it's so late in the season, but this is definitely a deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not good. Not good. Random Twin of the Week also coming up on here later in the Twin Show. But Walker Jenkins starting to figure things out a little bit here in St. Paul. So he got off to a rough start. He is 20 years old. He is playing against guys on the mound that have either big league experience multiple years of minor league baseball. Some guys 5, 6, 7 years older than him. So he gets off to a rough start. But in the month of September here for the Saints, yesterday even, hit a nice little double. He is slashing 424, 457, 667 just in the month of September. So he's 14 for 33, some extra base hits. Like I said, got off to a slower start, but for a 20-year-old to be having that type of success against veteran minor leaguers and former major leaguers at this point, that's pretty encouraging. He got off to the rough start with injuries this year, where he missed some time. But at age 20, for him to have success like this at AAA, I mean, if this is the case and he finishes the year there very strong, he's gonna be in the plans potentially to make the roster in spring training in 2026.
And
so this is awesome.
And it's hard. It is hard to get fully excited because of the broken trail of position player prospects that we've seen throughout this regime. So that's part of the offseason equation too. Is like, okay, in theory, going into 2026, Buxton coming off the best season of his career, healthy, hit another bomb, 31st home run of the season, right? Like he's going to be the veteran anchor of center field, your lineup, everything. And then you should have this combination of first round pick / like top 5 overall pick talent coming into their own in Royce Lewis, in Brooks Lee, Luke Keyshaw. And then I think Walker Jenkins, again, in theory, on paper, should be competing for a spot on the opening day roster next year. If not, like, okay, we'll start you off. If you tear it up for 2 weeks, boom, we'll call you up in May. But how sure can you be that you're going to be able to maximize all of... There's a ton of young talent here, and I didn't even mention some of the other guys.
Yeah.
How sure can you be that you're maximizing it? Matt Wallner.
I'm also slightly holding my breath with Walker Jenkins because he does get hurt a lot. Like he's had problems seemingly every season. I think that he's been in the system. But yes, if he is healthy, so what could if we didn't set parameters here on like service time and the like, Declan, what could your opening day outfield in your mind look like in 2026? Give it to me.
Wow. Buck in center.
I mean, I Buck in center.
Oh yeah.
Walker in a corner.
Walker in a corner.
Walker in a corner sounds like a song.
Sounds like a great country song.
Yeah, it does. Walker in a corner.
Oh man, Walker Jenkins maybe in left and Wallner in right.
Okay,
potentially.
Sure.
You got in Walker. You have a super athletic left fielder out there, right? Mm-hmm. And some pop.
Yeah.
And then you got an infield of Royce Lewis at third, Brooks Lee at short. Luke, work on your glove and your footwork and your throwing at second base throughout the winter. And you can figure out first base. I don't think Cody Clemens should be penciled in as the starting first baseman. And clearly they don't love Aaron Sabato. So they're back on the first baseman market.
So where does Culpepper go eventually, too? Because I could see him coming up at some point next season as well.
Yeah, I mean,
come on.
These are like amazing problems to figure out because I don't think you can necessarily just answer them right now. But what you do is when you draft Walker Jenkins, when you draft Kalen Culpepper and their shortstops or center fielders, they're insane athletes. And even if they don't fall into their position they're drafted as, they are set up in they're athletic enough where they can move to a completely new position. So I don't think it's necessarily like you have to have the answer to that question today because it tends to kind of work itself out.
Don't kill my joy. Don't kill my
I'm not killing your joy. I'm just saying, like,
it's like line combinations.
That's an impossible. That's like an impossible thing to
Here's
answer.
what I do. I know what I would do. Keyshaw goes to first base. I give him a first baseman's glove, and Culpepper eventually plays second if I leave Brooks Lee at short, which I think I'm inclined to do. I think I've seen enough there. I don't know about how you guys assess him, but I've seen enough plays. I think he's my shortstop.
This feels like a great exercise for future Twin Show episodes, though.
Yes.
There's a fun thing to untangle here for sure.
Random twin of the week coming up, but a shout out to Grandpa's Barbecue. Grandpa'sBarbecueShop.com. Free shipping on orders $50 or more for our Twin Show listeners. If you're a year-round griller like I am, I like to grill year-round. Make sure you're stocking up on all those needs, whether it's dry rub sauces, anything you want. Plus, locally in the Twin Cities, they're at Fratelloni's locations too. So go to Grandpa'sBarbecueShop.com.
Also, a shout out to Green Mill Pizza, our friends at Green Mill Pizza, who also are at Pep's Pizza, who make legit pizza, which we've talked about. They also make Green Mill Pizza, that iconic Green Mill restaurant brand, that tavern style pizza. Extreme Supreme, Il Primo, Hand Tossed Pepperoni, Meat Lovers. They also offer soft breadsticks and sauces, all at your local grocer. So find the iconic Green Mill Restaurant brand, those pizzas you can bring home to your family, to your loved ones. greenmillfoods.com. All right.
Baseball.
I got that
Right.
random twin for you. Who
love
won? What are the standings?
Yeah, so Phil, you have 34 wins all time. But now you're giving the clues this week, but it has been a while since Phil has won. Judd and I are tied with 31 career wins, so one of us will move into second place with today's victory. But Mark Guthrie, Danny Valencia, the protest of Tony Batista at the Minnesota State Fair, Ty France, Brad Rackey, Scott Baker. Phil, you have not won since Louis Rivas,
Oh, man.
a few months ago, so it's been a little bit.
And I'm not going to win today because I'm giving out the clues
Correct.
to you two guys to try and break this tie here. So I'll give out the clues. You guys get up to 3 strikes each. If one of you hits a third strike, the other one wins automatically. Here we go.
Let's do it.
This random twin of the week. I know Judd loves when I throw out, because you're trying to figure out, is this clue going to be a straight up clue or is it a curveball clue? That this random twin batted .281 the last year of his career. Pretty good. It's pretty good batting average. .281. His nephew, according to the internet, is a professional disc golfer.
Oh, well, Frolfer.
So the athlete blood runs deep and far in this man's family. His nephew is a professional disc golfer.
I played a ton of disc golf in college. Loved it.
It's a fun sport.
Yeah, it's fun. You flick the frisbee a little bit.
Yeah.
Fun times.
He was drafted twice, once in the 28th round, and then later in the first round.
Ooh, okay.
So he did not sign after being drafted in the 28th round.
Right.
Said, no, I think I can do better than that. Just give me a little time here. And then he played more baseball as a youngster and was a first-round pick.
Can I ask, was it a first-round pick by the Twins?
It was not a first-round pick by the Twins. Yep.
Not by the Twins.
He did play Major League Baseball in 3 different decades. I think Declan gave a clue like that recently.
Yeah, last week.
Love that clue.
3 different decades.
Just like Mark Guthrie,
Wow.
he played baseball in 3 different decades.
Wow. Okay.
So he could have either played for 30 years or for 12 years.
Yeah, right.
And you guys are going to have to figure that out.
Yep. That's true.
Judd's awfully quiet here, holding his
Muted. I think
commentary
Stella's
to
probably
himself.
barking in the background.
Yeah, she was barking, but I know. But I'm actually just went to my now enormous list. It feels like of random twins. So
Yeah.
all right.
Okay. This random twin had 8 seasons of 30 or more stolen bases in his career. Major League career. Major League career.
30 or more.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh, we used him. Doggone
Ton
it.
of stolen bases.
Hold on a second here. We used him. That's a
Despite playing in 3 different decades, he only made 3 playoff appearances. And those came in 2 of the decades. 2 of the decades. 3 playoff appearances across 2 of the 3 decades that he played in.
I feel like stolen bases should potentially be in the Declan wheelhouse.
Yeah.
I love stolen bases. Who was swiping bags? This is a franchise that does not have a lot of guys that have stolen bases recently.
His best season in the major leagues was not with the Twins, but it was 6.2 wins above replacement.
Wow.
It's pretty good.
That's awesome.
This random twin. Where do I go here? Let's do this one. This random twin received MVP votes in 3 different decades.
Oh, God.
How about that? MVP votes in 3 different decades.
I don't.
But he was
That's
never
good.
he was never the league MVP though. He was never the league MVP.
3 decades.
I had a guess, but this guy played in way more postseason games.
MVP votes.
Way more postseason games than 3.
And he
Or
was
3 appearances.
and 30 stolen bases. You said in 3 different seasons.
8.
8 different
8
seasons.
different seasons. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I had a guess, but I don't think it tracks for.
Okay.
I don't think he played long enough.
Okay.
To be
You want to take it? You want to take a stab here?
No. I feel like Declan's close to taking a stab.
I had a stab, but there's no way it's this guy. I mean, I could still say it out loud, but I don't want to really count as a guess.
All right. Okay.
This guy, so he played in three different. It played in the playoffs 3 different times.
Yeah.
Okay.
Career playoff OPS of 1,050.
The hell?
I would say
Wait, hold on a second.
you don't think of this necessarily, but he is statistically one of the great playoff hitters in the history of baseball.
We've used him too. Good God. Okay. Let's
He
keep
was
going.
not drafted by the Twins. He did not play in the playoffs with the Twins. Yet I would say he's one of the more prominent Twins in team history.
Is this? I'll take it. Is this Paul Molitor?
Paul Molitor is correct.
Oh, it is. Let's go.
Paul Molitor.
Wow.
World
Crap.
Series MVP 1993.
Oh,
Minnesota's own
Nice job,
Paul Molitor. Yeah.
nice job.
Dude, he raked in the playoffs. So he was in.
yeah,
by
he
the way, the
raked a
3
lot.
decades he was 20th in MVP voting with the Brewers in 1979, and so playoffs with the Brewers in 81, Brewers again to the World Series in 82, and then he won the World Series with the Blue Jays in 93. In 93, he was the World Series MVP, and in those 12 playoff games, he hit 447 with a 1378 OPS.
Yeah.
3 strikeouts in 55 plate appearances.
Wow.
That is an
Just
insane,
absolute
That's
terror
an
for Paul.
insane playoff run. 21
igniter.
hits.
The igniter,
Eight.
dude.
Smart baseball.
Slugged
you don't
850.
And you don't think of him
Great
as much as like a stolen base freak because he was
yeah.
old when the Twins got him, but
No, yeah,
he stole 504 bases in his career.
I almost guessed Dave Winfield, but I knew he had way more postseason
And we used him.
experience.
We've done Dave Winfield before.
Dave. I didn't even Control F. So good thing I didn't even say it. We have done Dave. Oh wow.
So
Look at that.
congrats
All
to
right.
old Dexter.
All right.
Good work, Dex.
Judd is back in last place in the random twin of the week. Wow, it's embarrassing.
I'll be back.
All the historical knowledge.
I'll be back.
Yep. He'll
Don't
be
count
back.
me out. You know what? JJ McCarthy showed me the way. Never get down on yourself. We're coming back.
you
I'm gonna
rather
put the
be?
war paint on.
Where would you rather be
I'm gonna put the
than
war
right here?
paint on, and I am going to when I come back and shockingly win this entire thing, I'm going to celebrate.
Love it.
Love it. Hey, hit the like button, subscribe button here on the SKOR North Twins Show. Appreciate you guys. We'll be back talking at you soon.